Okay, hey guys. Today I'm gonna talk about the general terrarium, like ideas about the terrarium, like how to keep it clean, how to keep mold out, things that your poison dart frogs need in their terrarium, plans for your terrarium, and how to make your terrarium look nice or nicer. Um, First is first, how to clean your terrarium. To clean your terrarium, you need to scrub the glass down so that it looks nice and clean. Because the mold will grow on the side of the cage if it's not clean. Another way to prevent mold in your cage is by picking up and cleaning out any dead plants, or dead leaves in your terrariums. Things that your frogs need will be a lot of hiding space. They need a lot of food inside the terrarium, and for this food you could either use flightless fruit flies, which come in this little container right here. They come in different sizes and they're generally really cheap. They last about a month. Or you could get springtails or pinhead crickets. I think flightless fruit flies are the easiest. Your frogs also need a lot of humidity. They need 80 through 100% humidity, and just because they breathe out of their skin. So if they don't have that, they will suffocate and die. Your frogs need a lot of hiding spaces. If your frogs do not have hiding spaces, like if you look inside this cage right here, you can't see the floor that well. That's good, because if you can't see the floor, that means that there's a lot of hiding spaces for it. The frogs will get stressed out and die if there's not enough space in your terrarium. They generally need 4 to 5 gallons per poison dart frog, or that's a good rule to follow, just to make sure that your dart frogs are okay in their cage. For your plants, you could buy your plants at pretty much anywhere that is a hardware store, like Home Depot. Home Depot sells all types of plants. Like, I bought this at Home Depot right here, this nice purple plant. I also bought a few ferns in here, like that one and all that. I would have a lot of a big variety of plants in your cage, because the bigger the variety, the better the tank looks. And it's also mixing things up and making it look nice. The types of plants, some of the types of plants you could put in your terrarium would be bromeliads and vines like the philodendron and ferns. I don't have any bromeliads inside my cage, but a fern would look like that, or that back there. And the philodendron is this vine right here. Philodendrons grow very big, and it goes all throughout the cage. It goes under the water and it pops out all the way back there. For a bromeliad, I have a fake little bromeliad in here, and that's what it looks like. It holds water in the center of it. This one's the fake one. And you could either plant them upright or not upright. It doesn't matter. They hold water either way. Alright, next. The variety of plants really matters in your cage, because you just don't want a dull looking cage. Like, if you look across this cage for the scan, I have all different types of plants inside this cage. I don't even think I have one of the same plant inside. How to make your terrarium look nice. Driftwood is one of the options to make your terrarium look nice. Like right here, this is a big piece of driftwood with a little pump running down it, right here. And it runs down the driftwood into the little pond right here. Driftwood also makes great hiding for your terrarium. There's a frog right there, Mantella, that hides under this piece of driftwood. And it makes hiding for your poison dart frogs. Some other ways to make to let your terrarium look nice is like a fern wall, like either a plastic wall or like a fern wall. Either one doesn't matter. The difference between a fern wall and a plastic wall is the plastic wall right here, back there. It can hold water, but it's not guaranteed that it'll hold water. and it's not like a live wall, like a moss wall. The fern wall, I don't have an example for the fern wall, but the fern wall is a wall that you can plant certain plants on, like vines and ferns, and some like tree living plants. You could also have like a pump waterfall inside your cage just to make it look nice. Like this one's running a little low right now. It's usually squirting out all the way to like here. But since it's probably clogged up a little bit. One thing you gotta make sure is that you don't have your terrarium clogged up. How the pump or waterfall works is you either bury it underwater or you put it in a little pond. I had it buried under. I have all of mine buried under, but it got pulled out on accident, so I had to take it out and put it in this pond. And I bury the pump underneath the ground, and then it pops out right there. So that looks pretty nice. When it's fully running, it circulates the entire pond. You could also, just to make it, for your terrarium to look nice, it's also good to have like nice frogs inside your cage. For my terrarium, I usually like to mix up the colors of the frogs. Like, I don't have two of the same frogs in my terrarium unless I'm going to try to breed them. What I mean by this is not having different species of poison dart frogs, but having different colors of the same species. For example, the Aratus. There's a blue and black Aratus, and there's a green and black Aratus. They fit perfectly together, and they work out fine together. So you could look at a green one 1 minute, and then you could turn and look at the blue one. Next, for your terrarium to look nice would be adding a little pond to your terrarium. Like as you see in here, I have the terrarium, I have all the land space, and then I have a pond over here. And then for the nicer pond, I have a pond in here, and it has little fish swimming around in it. So people will come up to the cage and look inside and see fish, and then see a running pump go into the pond and see all that cool stuff. And sometimes when I feed them, they come up and they eat, and it looks really nice. Other ways to make your terrarium look nice is adding moss, different types of moss to your cage. Like I have brown moss over here, and green moss over here, and then I have brown moss and black moss, and then I have dirt over there. It's nice to mix it up, and then you could have those leaves, those boiled leaves, and you could put them in your terrarium, which make great hiding, and they look nice in your terrarium. Terrariums are natural running ecosystems, so you pretty much have nothing to worry about for cleaning a cage like you do for a snake. As long as you have plants and frogs, something that's pooping in the cage and something that's fertilizing, it's a natural running ecosystem. For the natural ecosystem to work, you need some type of circulation of the water underneath the cage, which I have this pump in here. And it circulates the water underneath, so then the water keeps on moving. If you don't have the circulation, your terrarium will fail. What's next? For good starting poison dart frogs. I have all the good starting poison dart frogs because I've only started this hobby about a year ago. You could have the blue Azores. They are very hardy. They are one of the biggest poison dart frogs out there. And they mix with all Dendrobates, Aratus, Azores, Leucomelius. They mix a few different types. So you could mix it up and it could look nice. One other or two other types of good first time poison dart frogs would be P. terribilis. They look beautiful and they come in like 4 or 5 colors. Right back. Where'd he go? Right back there. That's the baby right there. The baby, it looks black from right there, but it has a nice gold color to it, and this one's the semi-adult right here. There he is. And they have black feet, and they have sometimes a black dot under their eye, and they come in gold or mint or some other color, and they're usually very like sparkly, it looks like. The other type is the Manatella, which I showed you before. Terrariums also make a very, very, very beautiful scene in your house. Like, say if you have a big terrarium in your house, it'll be the main attraction of your house. Everyone will admire it and look at it, and it could be a beautiful collector's item. The reason why I love terrariums is because you could always mix things up with the terrarium. It's natural, it's all live. So if I don't like that plant there, I can move it over there. If I don't like that plant there, I can move it over there. I could always get different frogs. I could always add on to a tank. And I could always change around where my ponds are. I could make a background for the cage. It's limitless. It's limitless. So if you have any questions for me about either my video or like something that I didn't explain on the video which you would like me to go further into, you could send me an email, or you could inbox me, send me a message on YouTube. It doesn't really matter, whichever one's easier for you. And I'll try to get back to that as soon as I can. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, comment, and like, and all that stuff. Alright, bye-bye.